So this may or may not be the tomb of Shabbetai Zvi. Pretty amazing. Here in Ulcinj, Montenegro.
A lot has been written about Shabbetai Zvi, a Jew from the Ottoman Empire, who in the 1660s convinced most of the Jewish world that he was the Messiah, before converting to Islam to save his own life from the Sultan. What hasn't really been written about is that Shabbetai Tzvi's influence went far beyond the Ottoman Empire and Europe. I recently uncovered poems and songs from manuscripts that reveal that for some amount of time, many Jews in Iran and Kurdistan also believed that Shabbetai Zvi was the Messiah. Of course, manuscripts don't tell the whole story, so I went to Ulcinj, Montenegro, a tiny pirate town where Shabtai was sent after he was found singing psalms with Jews. Here he spent the last few years of his life in exile. I had to see it for myself. So why were Iranian Jews enamored by Shabbetai Zvi? Well, they'd spent the 1650s and 1660s being forcibly mass converted to Islam, and the idea that a redeemer was here was extremely attractive to the Iranian Jews of the time, just as it was to the Ashkenazi Jews who were recent victims of the Khmelnytsky massacres.
Come out here past these blackberries, and this is where Shabbetai Zvi was imprisoned. This would have been his view. Less babes on the beach, probably.
Shemuel ben Pir Ahmed, a prolific poet from Kashan in the 1600s, professes his belief in Shabbetai Zvi in this poetic and Kabbalistic expansion of the Hebrew Psalm 111. Pe'ulatam qasu ba'olam hazeh, ish ish al avodato. Pelaot masar leShabbetai, vehu kaved bitkufato. So with Shemuel ben Pir Ahmed's poetry on my mind, I made the pilgrimage into the valley and came upon what is thought to be the grave of Shabbetai Zvi. Unmarked and denied by the somewhat disgruntled family that owns it. But there's something special about the unassuming tomb, and I found myself reading more references from the manuscripts I found.
So this may or may not be the tomb of Shabbetai Zvi.
In a poem by an unknown Iranian or Kurdish Jewish poet, we see the following line addressing God. Devarecha taqim lezerat David hay ha'olamim. Tehader hodecha leShabbetai Zvi mubhar ha'amim.
The part that you missed was that he totally climbed on my shoe. I think maybe that's him. Reincarnated as a lizard.
Personally, I'm pretty sure Shabtai was not the Mashiach. I do think he probably has a better case than the Rebbe, don't you think? The Rebbe never once even visited Jerusalem, so... Before you get mad, my point here is, Iranian Jews were a part of Jewish history, just like everyone else. We were there for the good chapters and the bad chapters alike. We yearned for messiahs that never saved us. We were duped by charlatans. We wrote amazing religious poetry that's still relevant today. And it's cool that with some prodding of locals and a rickety Citroen rental car, we too can drive up to Montenegro to visit the prison and grave of an iconoclastic, controversial 17th century Jewish figure that even our ancestors were writing poetry about.